Back in here, and in today's video, I'm going to go over the only offer formula you're ever going to need for wholesaling real estate. I'm telling you right now, a lot of people get confused on the right offer formula to be giving to your motivated sellers. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my offer formula I give to my motivated sellers, the one me and my team have been using, and the one I have to recommend for wholesaling real estate today. I cannot stress this enough. Offers get really confused, especially in this industry of, I have to be the perfect person. I got to get the perfect offer in there, grab the calculator, grab the abacus, and just get going on it, right? And the truth is, getting offers is a science, yes, but a lot of people complicate it. And really what I'm going to do is give my simplistic view on actually how to go out here and actually give the right offers to your motivated sellers. I'm excited about this one because I know a lot of people are going to benefit from this and we can help the people out. So do me a favor before we get into it, guys, just smash that like button and subscribe. I'm telling you, helps the algorithm. Subscribe, smash that like button, and let's get into it. So we got everyone. What's up, Patricia, Angel? What's up, guys? So without further ado, cue the intro. Woo!
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Guys, what's up? Let's get some energy going today. I'm excited. It's an amazing day today, and we're getting out here and teaching exactly how to get the right offers out here because a lot of people get confused. I get comments on a daily basis of the right offer formula. So I'm just going to give you exactly the knowledge I've had in the last 5 years for giving offers. Remember, I'm in a higher ARV market, so of course it's a little different than when I do virtual wholesaling. ARV markets under 100,000, it gets a little more different. And that's why I'm going to share the exact offer formula that we use. So I believe most people get it really confused. And let's just share right now what it is today. And let's break it down. So the first thing I've seen is ARV minus repairs multiplied by something. Everyone knows that's like basically the formula most people say when it comes to giving offers. And I just wanted to give you a quick breakdown of that because number one, I got to tell you this right now. ARV minus repairs is going to equal market price. That is what the price of the deal is going to be. And we're going to break down everything, how to find ARV, repairs, all that fun jazz. We're going to share it. What I've seen, though, is ARV minus repairs is going to be what the property is most likely going to sell for on market with a realtor. Obviously, there's 6% fees for that with realtors, closing costs, all that stuff. So what ARV again is basically what it's technically after repair value. So that's what the property is going to be worth after you fix it up, after it's in like perfect condition. Think of like those house flipping shows. It looks all beautiful and pretty, right? Like that's what it's going to be worth. Now you minus out the repair cost on that. And that's what it really takes. You could say the word repair. I don't like saying a definition of a definition in there, but really how much money the property needs for it to get into that nice, pretty model to list it on the market, right? And that's really market price. And we got to understand here that cash buyers, they want a percentage off the market value. So let me say this one more time. Real estate investors, cash buyers, landlords, flippers, all of them, they can just go on the MLS and buy properties all day, right? For 100% of market value. And some properties are actually under market value on the MLS, but most of them aren't. And when you buy it, obviously, you got to have realtors, all that stuff. So it's not easier than if we did cash. So people who are going to buy a property cash, do off market, more risk with dealing with a wholesaler, they're going to want a percentage off that market value. They're going to want equity in exchange for them buying for cash. Kind of like how we deal with our sellers is we give cash to get a lower offer and get a lower price from the motivated seller, especially motivated situations, everything like that. So what I found through cash buyers, in my personal opinion, on in-person wholesaling, virtual wholesaling, all this stuff, is I found that hedge fund buyers they're the highest type of buyer. They're going to pay 80 to 90% of the ARV. Just really that's what I've seen. Hedge fund buyers are going to pay 80% to 90% of basically ARV minus repairs of market value. They pay the most. Next here is we got new buyers, flippers, whoever you want to call them. These are people straight out of those seminars of how to flip houses. They're first-time flippers. Maybe they're used to flipping houses on the MLS, and now they're ready to go off market because they heard it's better. And, people that flip maybe 1 to 2 houses a year, right? Maybe, like, those like couples that like they go out there and they're like, oh, we're ready to start flipping houses. I heard it's better than my 9-to-5 job. And, they get into it. There's so many. You go to local real estate investing association, they're going to be there. That's going to be about 80 to 85% off ARV minus repairs I've seen. Generally, they're one of the best. Like, they're the best cash buyer most people can find. Hedge funds are very hard unless you're in like a bigger metro market. So they're about 80 to 85%. And that's where a good wholesaler can go find someone buying it for 85%. That's a deal for them. Now, savvy investors, people that are really good at wholesaling, like they understand wholesaling in and out. Maybe they own like 15 or 50 rental properties. They flip like 15, 20 deals a year. They know ARV like the back of their head. They know repair costs. They got their whole team. It's like a big operation. They're going to pay around 70 to 75%. And really, we don't want to deal with a lot of these buyers. A lot of buyers, actually, like I've had flippers that are paying 80%, 85%. I sell them like 4 or 5 deals, and now they're at 70, 75 because they're sick of me making a big assignment fee on it, and they want cheaper and cheaper assignment fees from me. And at the end of the day, you just kind of cut them off. Really, what I've seen is that's basically the tier. So again, we're at hedge fund buyers, new buyers / flippers, and then we're at those savvy investors. That's honestly what I've seen. Just FYI, guys, though, what I've seen is, on average, if your ARV is over $120,000, so your after repair values in your market is over a certain $120,000, it's going to be around 83%. And you might ask, like, what's my average ARV? All you really got to do here is just go to median price point, median price, let's say Miami, Florida, of a home on like Zillow. So I'll like, what's my average ARV in my market? I can just go share my screen here and show you right here. So if I'm in Miami, I know the average ARV is 469,000 versus if I go in like a certain area in like the Midwest or something, right? Where it's like, 80, 90, 170,000. So just go to Zillow here and find your median price point. That's how I found the ARV on there. So now we know that, so the average, these cash buyers are going to pay around 83% of ARVs over 120K. Now, I know everyone talks about the 70% rule. I could tell you if the ARV is under 120,000, sure, use the 70% rule. But the 70% rule, I cannot stress this enough. It's outdated. It's old. I feel like it's antiquated. And I don't think it's the best strategy out there for finding deals, especially when you're giving those offers out. It's just, it's really hard for me to recommend them. Like, so sure, you could do the 70% rule if you want, but like if you're going to get beat out on other wholesalers, and that's the honest truth. And I got the math to break it up, to show it, to share. I'm ready to go. And I'm ready to share this. So what I've seen here is, like, everyone says, oh, Zach, the 70% rule is the only rule for me. All this, I mean, inflation changed it all. But what I can tell you is, let's kind of do some simple math here and try to figure this out, because that's what I've seen the best. So let's say we have a house, average deal, right? $300,000. That's a pretty average ARV. I feel like the average home price in the United States, it's roughly there, a little more, a little less sometimes, but it's definitely going up. So let's say $300,000 and repairs is like 30,000. Okay, for example. So repairs are 30 grand, 300,000. So let's do the math. ARV minus repairs, right? ARV is 300,000 minus repairs, 30,000. That goes us around $270,000. So ARV minus repairs is $270,000. again, kind of looking at the math, that is market value. So that property on the market probably should sell between 270, maybe even less, a little more. Like obviously, these are guesstimates. You can't be 100% accurate. Even 5 years in this game, I'm not 100% accurate with everything, just because the market's crazy. Like free markets work. It's just like what someone's willing and able to buy and pay for that deal, for that piece of real estate. So 270,000 I've seen. So let's say, for example, we're using the 70% rule. So 70% rule basically goes ARV minus repairs, bracket obviously, multiplied by around 70% is going to be our MAO, which is our max allowable offer. And that means that's the most we can offer on that deal. And we got anything below that is fair game. Anything above that is just too high for us. So we look at that deal now, and I've seen this throughout the country, and especially in my market. So like I've seen this is $270,000. If you multiply that by the 70% rule, that's going to be around $189,000. So you're telling me, like with that 70% rule, that your max allowable offer is going to be 189,000. The math just doesn't work right now with this. Now, 2012, 2013, when the average real estate price median was like a lot lower, it made sense. Unfortunately, now it doesn't, right? So as we can see here, like if we have a hedge fund who's buying 80, 90%, they will pay 230,000 for that deal, right? They're paying very close to market value. Institutional buyers are still buying like crazy. They're getting a little more tighter right now, some of these hedge funds, but they're still buying at insane rates compared to your other people, like your other wholesalers, cash buyers, things like that. So if your max allowable is 189 and the thing is worth 100, 230 to a hedge fund, that means your old MAO is going to be off by 41,000 on that percentage. And so I don't knock anyone who says the 70% rule is still fine. Use it if you want. What I'm saying is a lot of people struggle with their offers is they have that 7% rule, then another MAO, quote unquote, 189,000. Let's say a new wholesaler that's using the 83% rule, they come at 200,000, right? And then you're stuck at 189, and like you can't go over 189 because that's your max allowable offer, right? The bad part here is you get beat out. You're like, oh my gosh, this guy overpaid. You know what? This gal, they're never going to close on that deal, right? And they close for 230 and they make $30,000. You're going to get beat in the dust with your competition here, because that $30,000 is like unbelievably, like that's an amazing wholesaling deal, right? Like for the average person, that's still an amazing wholesaling deal, right? So you're going to get beat out here, and you're not knowing why. It's because that formula, I just don't believe it's best right now. And if I use the 83% rule as the max allowable offer, ARV minus repairs multiply 83%. Now, 300,000 is a little above, where I'm comfortable wholesaling ARV wise, but that will give you about $224,100. So that means your max allowable will be $5,900 in profits. Now, I've done deals $1,000. I've done deals $100,000, right? So in between that, obviously, like I'll do, if I'm making 2K on a deal, I'll make 2K on a deal, right? If I'm making 5K on a deal, I'll make 5K on a deal, right? At the end of the day, that MAO give me $5,900. So it's a guesstimate, right? So if I knew I was going to make $4,000 on this deal and it's a little above my MAO, would you take it? Of course you would. Like $4,000 is $4,000, $3,000 is $3,000, make it 30K is 30K, right? Like, so at the end of the day, a lot of people get the ARVs, off a little. I've seen most people inflate the ARVs, and that's usually an issue. So if you're using the 70% rule, the 70% rule actually works really well if you're like stupid with your ARVs. Like you have like a mobile home, for example, and then you compare that to like a top of the line, double wide trailer on like half an acre, right? Sure, right? Like you compare, then you 7% of that works, right? Or if you got like a beat up house that's like built in like 1843, and you compare that to a brand new built house, then sure, the 70% rule might work for you, right? So like if you get ARV done the right way, and if you know how to comp the right way, which we teach all at freewholesaling.com, I can tell you right now that you're going to be fine. Like if you can get the ARV the right way, it's going to help you a lot. And I cannot stress this enough. But it drives me crazy the way people get their ARVs wrong. It's insane. So just understand that. So this kind of brings us back to, calculating the right way. So you really knowing 83%, 70% is going to be fine. But like, how do you find ARV? And that's the next part here. And that's something you really got to understand and see what's going to work best for you. I personally found that ARV is best when you're just comping similar properties. And comping is basically short for finding comparables. So if I'm trying to find a comparable property for, let's say, that $300,000 deal, and let's say it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in, I don't know, New York, right? Or Wisconsin, or like whatever state, really doesn't matter. I'm going to have to look for other 3-2s around 200, 250 square feet. So if I have a 1250 square foot and a 1500, that's a fine comparable. I just find the price per square foot on that. Similar construction year. I always do it within a decade, same subdivision. Kind of just think of like how people appraise houses. You just got to use kind of that criteria, more or less, because property appraisers have been around for centuries. And, that they know comping better than us. Trust me. Like, property appraisers have been appraising like properties for 50, 60, 70, 80 plus years, like in my market. So it's like, they probably know a little more, right? They've seen more cash sales. They figure out their own formulas probably better than me. So I think it's pretty important that we do that. So I've always found that similar construction, things like that. And then you basically got to tell you find the after repair value. Usually look for new construction. You go a little less than that. That's another quick hack I've learned. But the last hack here, like something that I think is pretty important for a lot of new wholesalers out here, they get really confused on. So MAO, humbly, I think it's pretty simple to calculate. Now, repair cost is like when ARV is harder for me to calculate than repair costs, just because I've seen so many properties. I've done so many deals with cash buyers that renovated the house, and I've gone back with them, like especially when I'm starting out in this business, like, hey, I know you renovated this house. Can you break down the cost of things? And they're like, oh, why do you want to know my profit? No, I don't care about your profit. I just want to know how much did it cost to do the kitchen here? How much did it cost? So when I come back and I go to another deal and I see the kitchen's leaking, I know the kitchen leak's going to be $500. Another quick hack for you. And now I go to a house. I know how much flooring is going to cost because I do rehabs. Like, I mean, technically I do rehabs myself, but like, I'm not with a hammer, right? Like, I pay people to do it. But like on the deals that we're flipping right now, it's like, I know the exact way for me to actually go out here and change things up on it. So like, if I'm going to go flip a house, I know how much a roof's going to cost, AC. I'm in Florida, so depends on, if it's concrete block got hit by a hurricane or something kind of up north by me or south. So repair cost pretty simple. Now, what I found with repair cost is you will never be perfect on it. I'll never be perfect on repair costs. I talk to people that flip thousands of houses. They're never 100% like on repair costs. Like, it's a changing number, right? Like, one person's cost to renovate a pool is going to be 1,000 off of here. And then like you do 50 other things, it's going to like add up. So the best thing you do with repair costs is guesstimate it, right? Like the offer formula is going to be guesstimating to a point. You just want to be in a ballpark range. What I mean there is, like, when you're negotiating with your seller, the point of giving an offer price is, I always tell people this, like I say it every single time. It's like, we're buying dollar bills here. This is what this business is. So if I find somebody who wants to sell their $100,000 bill, Woodrow Wilson bill, I think, if they want to sell their bill that's worth $100,000, and I figured out with my offer formula, it could be worth between $90,000 to $110-ish thousand, and I get locked it up for $80,000, I'm gonna know pretty good that I got a good deal there, right? And that you can't get 100%. It's not like we're actually buying dollar bills where it's a concrete value, but you can guesstimate, right? 95 to 105,000. It's like, okay, I need to be under 95,000 on this deal. You lock it up for 94, you're making $6K on that. So offer price, it's like, you don't have to be perfect on it. Like, and at the end of the day, it's what a cash buyer is willing to pay for it. I like to say this a lot too. I always tell my acquisitions people this so many times, but the best offer is never the offer you give. And a lot of people get confused by that. It's like, Everyone thinks you have to be the slick person, always give the offer first. This is kind of rule one for negotiating. It's like never give the offer first. Have the seller give the offer. And freewholesaling.com, like we break the entire thing down. It's pretty simple way we break it down, but never give that offer first. And I cannot stress that enough. Usually the seller will give you a price lower than you could even imagine most of the time, or sometimes, and it always makes it up. And then negotiate the best price from there, right? But just getting the offer is the best guesstimate of the best success you're going to get on here. So what I want to share right now is, let me see if I can pop it up. So for repair costs for 2022, it's weird, right? Like sometimes people who are brand new just can't grasp like how much new things cost. They need that experience. I get it. What I've found is just a really simple sheet. This is a sheet that I used to use when I started out. Like we kind of like, I sort of figured it out. Obviously I had to add extra money because repair costs have changed over time. But generally for like 2022, what I've seen with like repair cost is, so I made this sheet. I'm very proud of it. You can tell I made this off Canva, but this is just basically a quick like repair cost worksheet. I did a video on this, I think a month or two ago, and I just said it, but like I never made a graphic of it. So I was just kind of sitting around today. I was like, oh, let's make a graphic for it. Let's see if you help the people out. Everyone knows what template I guess on Canva I did on there, but let's make it full screen and see if it. Oops, did it share? Hold up. Get out of here. All right, whatever. I don't think it's going to work too well, but this is basically, oops, there we go. There we go. Let's see here. All right, so this is basically my repair cost worksheet. Screenshot it, do whatever you want. I literally just made this graphic, so I mean, it's here to benefit for the people. But basically this repair cost worksheet, more or less, it's a guesstimate range. But oh my gosh, wait, it's not showing the thing. Hold up. There we go. All right. I basically put the repair costs as most people have been doing this. It's a light, kind of halfway to like crazy rehab, light, decent, and like a heavy, big rehab. And then you got like basically off the square footage. Now, price is probably going to, like if you're watching this video a year from now, it's probably going to be more expensive due to inflation. Would be my guess. I mean, you never know what's going to happen in the future, right? So like you just got to see. But what honestly I've seen is if the property is about 1,500 square feet or less, a light rehab at minimum is going to be 15,000. Like I've mostly seen 15,000 on these rehabs. If you're doing like a decent rehab, most houses have this too. 20 to 25,000. Like I'm just being honest. And then like a bigger rehab for a 1,500 square foot house is going to be 50 to 60K. Why say 15? There's always going to be cosmetic work. Sometimes a roof repair is going to have to be in there. Just understand that. Next here is for 1,500 square feet to 3,000 square feet. A light rehab is going to come in around 20K. Medium, 30, 35,000. Like a heavy rehab, I would say is about $60,000 to $65,000. Now, if we're going 3,000 plus square feet here, things are going to be a little different. A light rehab is going to be $25,000 to $30,000. A median rehab is going to be 35 to 40K. And then like 3,000 square foot properties, like they're a lot rarer, 65 to 75. And like now we're talking mold, termite, like it can really get up to 120 depending on like if it's $1 million house, right? Like you just generally use common sense when you're doing that. But that's my formula. So screenshot if you want. I guess I can post it in freewholesaling.com. I got to see. But so Josh asked here, like, what's considered light, medium, heavy? It really depends on what like you're depending it on. Light is just going to need cosmetic work. Maybe it needs a new roof on a smaller house. And that's the only issue really. It needs to be updated. Medium's probably where things get updated, maybe new flooring, painting, things like that. And then heavy's like, it's the whole thing needs to get rehabbed. Like it's way too old, right? That's honestly what I'd say. I just, a lot of people get very confused on the offer price to repairs. That's generally what I've seen is going to be the best results. Like you just got to guesstimate it. Like a lot of people don't get good results in wholesaling because they just lack taking that action. And that's an actionable step you can take out here for success. So that's what I got to say. So guys, that's how you figure out the offer out formula. Let me know if you need help with it. You need that graphic again. Just let me know. So let's kind of go over some questions here, guys. Again, check out freewholesaling.com. It's a free wholesaling course. Teach you everything you need to know about wholesaling real estate. So let's break it down. So Tyler, what's up, Tyler? Tyler says, I've been getting beat out on properties in 7% of my market. I felt like it was wrong for my market, but makes way more sense. I'm happy with my 3K. Tyler, I don't want you to give away your market because obviously, I don't want it to be saturated. If you can DM me your market, I can check out. Actually, Tyler, just do me if don't give me the market. What's your average ARV in your price? Do that Zillow thing I said to do. If it's above 120, then you definitely got to be using the 83% rule. If it's under it, if it's under it, then maybe that's going to be, Michelle says, how do you estimate a full gut repair? You really can't. I would use the heavy on the larger scale and get that, and that's honestly what I'd say. Let's see here. Justin Stoney, what is up, says, depends who owns the property. Management company could be an investor willing to buy. They also might know landlords, owners looking to buy and sell if they have clientele. Yeah, I would say that. Sandra says, got to be honest with yourself about what the repairs actually are too. Sandra, let me know how you say it, but I cannot stress that enough because you might think like, oh, the flooring, it's going to be around 4K, like when it's really like 7, right? And it's really worth 7, but you're trying to, put in your head that's going to be better than what it really is. It's not going to be the best thing. So just understand that too. Sandra says inflation numbers coming out tomorrow. It's going to get interesting. Like you never know, right? Like inflation numbers, whatever you want it. Like there's true numbers. Like if you really want to look at the true numbers, right? The inflation calculation in there, it takes out certain things, right? Was it CPI? Consumer Pricing Index. It puts stuff out. So it's never the really true number, but it's going to get interesting, Maria says, all right. 75 to 85% formula. That's literally the sauce. Give yourself a range of options, just like you want to give your seller a range of options. There's no set number you need to know, just the range, 100%. So 83% rule is better for a new wholesale. Honestly, like what I can tell you is I've seen the 83% rule. Like if you're a brand new wholesaler, it's probably going to give you the best results. It depends on your ARV. So if your ARV, your after repair value is under 120,000, 83 is going to be better. You can use 70 if it's under it. Baltimore markets like that. I need more multifamily buyers in Houston. Awesome. Sandra says, it's hard when houses can run from 30 to 100K on the same block. Like I've seen Jacksonville's like that a lot. Baltimore's like that. Some markets like in my local market are like that too. It really depends. Like it's like I have deals where like I look at it, the house built in like 1890 and it'll sell for like 500K. And then there's the same 1890 house like a street over and it'll sell for like 40. And they're both like run down, right? It's just weird. It freaks me out sometimes, but like, it's just eventually you got to get better at your market and like understanding it. And you get a lot better results. That's honestly what I've seen. Let's see here. Facebook user says, I have a question. When filling out a purchase and sale agreement and there is a debt, should I list offer on a when I'm filling out a purchase and sale agreement and there is debt, should I list full offer and agreement or offer seller minus debt? So do the full offer on that for a purchase and sale. Again, every state's different, but for most states for wholesaling real estate, just give your offer because there's a lien, the mortgage, you don't know the exact amount. So just do the offer amount, let the title work on it, and you should be good to go. Cash buyers in New England. All right. We don't talk about New England. I've done enough stress in my life with the New England Patriots. I don't even want to deal with them. New England's an interesting market though. What's up, sub 2 deals? William, Bro, you DM me, man. DM me back, dude. You asked me something on the thing and I answered it. So hit me up, man. Fantastic info. You're the man. Ryan, thank you so much. What's your name? I'll DM you on Facebook. DM me how to get the hedge fund. I'll post a link on there. I have a video where I talk about how to find hedge fund buyers. I think I had some live calling with them too. So let's hedge fund check real quick. Let's see here. Flip it Rick. Here we go. Here it is. Yeah. This was January 4th. Oh wow. Okay. So let me share the video with you guys and just show you. Let's see here. Posting that in the chat right now. So here it is for anyone watching the screen right here. Here it is. So it's basically, this is the thing. Let me show you the video on that one if you want to go see it. It's right here. How to find and wholesale with hedge fund buyers. Pretty cool. So basically from here, yeah, look right there. Catch me over. I'd love to leave a voicemail. So let's see here. Hair was a lot shorter back then, huh? I think I was on hold there, but like that's a live call to hedge fund. Just search, how to find and wholesale hedge fund buyers. Should be good to go, right? That's exactly how you'd go find it on there. But boom, let's help the people out today, right? Honestly, they're a lot more receptive to wholesalers than you think. You obviously got to find the right one, but honestly, what I've seen is they're pretty open, So do you have a list of hedges that you can get a notice of? You just got to call them, right? So Barquette here says, my issue is how to find the best comps. Honestly, what I've seen is the best way to find comps is just comping. So what I mean by this is it's like doing homework. So go and find properties that recently sold in your market and then have someone like find the address of the property that sold. And then you comp it, figure out how much it could go for. And then you reveal the sold price on that, have someone help you out or something like with that. And honestly, like that makes it a lot better for you because you're comping for ARV, right? Not repairs. So, I mean, in your local market or even in your state, right? It should be your local market though. There's probably, maybe 5, 10, 15 deals selling that county, zip code, city a day. Then you got a homework assignment for 10, right? And just keep doing it until you get really good at it, right? Like that's the honest truth for having success there. The problem is most people aren't willing to do the work to actually figure it out. Really, TREC contracts should be used by licensed realtors, but it's common practice for people to use them. I'm 99% sure you can use them if you're a wholesaler. I'm not in Texas, so I'm not a lawyer, financial advisor, any of that stuff, or I'm not a licensed realtor, but I've seen a lot of wholesalers doing well with that TREC contract. So yeah. Will you be posting the formula or just rewatch it? So it's ARV minus repairs multiplied by 83%. Same formula I've been telling everyone for about a year now. I used to be on the 7% train when I started out on in wholesaling, but like again, guys, that was like 5 years ago, right? Like at different times. I was buying houses for like 40, 50K. What's up, Latoya? How are you? Cash offer term says, like your dad said, you keep selling to the same buyer. They want bigger. Friend, it drives me crazy when these cash buyers do that, but it's the honest truth. And it kind of stinks to say, but like they're going to want bigger and bigger discounts every single time. It drives me crazy. But like, what are you going to do? Like, it just see here. Let's see if I pull up another graphic I got. We'll do that later. But I thought I made another graphic about the cash buyer because I made like a cash buyer pyramid. I've been trying to find it for the stream. I can't. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. But they want bigger and bigger discounts, and it drives me crazy. Like it's so stupid. Brittany says, "Hey Zach, can we wholesale a family member's prop?" So Brittany, like, I can get into this, and here's the honest truth: like, you could wholesale a family member's property. I personally wouldn't. I'm just not the biggest fan of like wholesaling family members' houses. Like, unless you know it's their fiduciary right responsibility, sure. But if I don't know, like I personally wouldn't. I've had friends come to me and have their family members try to sell their property for cash with me, and honestly, like they trust me so much that they'll go to me and I'll be like, well, based on your situation, do you just want to get rid of it for cash, or like, do you want the most for it? Like, oh, we want the most for it. Like, sometimes your family is going to want the most for it and cash, right? So it's like, that might be doing you a favor, but if you know it's in their best interest, and they actually want to sell it for more with a realtor, go with that. Like, I don't mix family with business to a point. I mean, right? So it's like, it's not best to mix that. I personally wouldn't, though. Do I bother TREC contract Texas? I'd ask a title company. Let's go. Get out of bed. Woo! Love it. So how to find comps in non-disclosure states? Use like a listria.com, zachdialer.com. Those work pretty well. There's a couple tricks and tips. I have that, like, just go through how to comp in non-disclosure states, but Zillow's got some hacks on there that are absolutely for free that they're really good to be doing. Those are ones I'd be recommending. Mr. SG says, hey, Zach, I have a property that's actually owned by a realtor. It's a complete rehab. How do I talk realtor down on my price? We're off by $30K. I need to find out what your MAO on it and what it's actually worth. And that's going to be the best one on it. That's honestly what I'd tell you is, if the realtor wants more, tell them to list the prop. Like, did you tell the realtor, why don't you list the property with the realtor? Because they're a realtor, right? Like, I need to know more information on that before I can kind of get into it. That'd be my best thing I could say on that end. What's up, guys? Thank you. I got a lot of people on here today. What's up? Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. Let's go here. Let's see here. There we go. Ryan Peck says, I got a huge lead from a gentleman who owns 32 properties. I know him personally. However, I'm new to this. Halfway through your university, I don't have a university. It's just a wholesaling. It's freewholesaling.com. It's just a free course we have together. If you're nervous to approach them, figure out why. It's like, why are you even getting into wholesaling? Why are you like taking the steps to learn wholesaling real estate? Just have that in mind, right? So I personally will tell you right now, if you're nervous, it's probably due to a lack of, you don't know what to say. And the truth is, when you're talking to a seller, you really got to ask 4 questions. And what I've seen is it's motivation, time frame, condition, price. So it's like motivation, ask them why they want to sell the property, right? Condition, what's the condition of these properties, right? Time frame, when they're looking to sell, and then price, what price they need to sell the property for. Now, you're saying now it's 32 houses. So the thing here with 32 stinking property, that's a lot of houses. A common myth people have is that they can sell or lock up 32 houses in a row. The honest truth is you're probably not going to. It's really hard to take all this out. I would do 1 to 2 at a time, and then do like 5 or 6 at a time. You have to build that trust and understand that you actually closed on that deal. Plus, it's going to be overwhelming to find a buyer for all that, right? They're going to want a significant discount. So What I could tell you right now is ask the seller. Like when I have biggest one I've had as a seller had like 12 properties, I think. It was like 8 or 12. One of those numbers. But uh we basically like Rick's said this forever, right? It's like what property is your biggest problem right now? And they should instantly tell you it's this house. Do that one first. Prove that you can actually be a buyer there, then you'll lock up basically the other 31. That'd be my recommendation for you. Are they cash? A huge thing I ask too is like, hey, is the property cash flowing? Like, what is it looking like? Is there actually getting deals on it? Like, you have to ask those questions too. Mr. SG says, hey, Zach, I have a property that's actually owned by a realtor. It's a complete rehab. How do I talk to a realtor down my price? We're off there. I already answered that one. You basically got to see why they want to sell the property, right? And like, that's basically all I got to say. Let's see here. So we get another question here. Basically says, what percentage profit do cash buyers like to see typically? They basically have they all have their own numbers. So hedge fund's going to buy and hold it. So like they care more about cash flow. Now a flipper, they're going to want at least 10 to 15% of the deal. Like if they buy it for $300K, they're going 30, 35K. And depends how much rehab they got to put in it, right? Too. Like it's up to, like I have some flippers that are like, oh my gosh, if I can make 15K on this, that's amazing, right? In like 2 months. And I got some people are like, oh, I need to make 60K a deal, right? And like those are like higher ARVs, like more luxury type thing, if that makes sense. So that's who you got to deal with. Some of them don't care how much percentage profit because they're having a cash flow, and then their ROI is going to be more. That's kind of more commercial wholesaling, obviously. That's honestly what I've seen. So 01 says, do you use the 83% rule in the war zone areas, but your median's 250? If the ARV is under 120K, I'll use 70%. If it's over, I'll use 83% still. Listening. Thank you, Miss Hall. Twin Flames Unite, what is up, says, what are some good sources to check comps to come to a good ARV? I keep getting the ARV too low and rarely too high. Good sources. So if it's free, Zillow, Realtor.com. You could use listarei.com, ZachData.com. You can use any of those websites. You got to pay for it, obviously. But Realtor, Zillow, they're going to show comparables too. Trulia is a good one, right? Even Rentometer, if you want to use like a 1% rule, but not the biggest fan of that, especially in this market. So that's where I'd be closer. Lou's got a question. Let me know. Now hit them with that real estate question. Love it. Miles, what is up? So we're going to ask here, Miles says, so starting out to get a first deal, would you recommend getting small and try to be more on the seller side to get only 2 to 3? No. Miles, my first deal is $20,000. So it doesn't matter when you're starting out, like what price you're going to be at. You can make 70K your first deal, right? Like, or you can make 5K your first deal. It's really a win-win where the seller's okay selling at that price and you're okay buying at that price with your criteria. Whatever that price is, sometimes that price ends up being 60K in profit. You've seen people do that. And then you see people making $2,000, $3,000 in profit. It's really what works for both of you. Sometimes it's going to be lower, sometimes it's going to be higher. Miles, for example, like that example I gave, it's like, the house is going to sell for 230. Let's say the seller wants to sell for 200. They're going to say, no, Mr. Seller, I'm going to put on a contract for 220,000. Right? Like it's what works for the both of you. Garrett says, do you still recommend Mojo, Triple Line? So I use Batch Dialer. So that's ZachDialer.com, like for the 7-day free trial on it. But honestly, like I love Batch, love PropStream. Like I love these services, but like I got to keep it 100 with you guys. Batch versus like others, Batch and PropStream are basically the same. Like they're essential for my business. That's why I always promote it. ZachDialer.com, it's neck and neck with like Mojo and everyone else. Just because I use Batch, it makes it a lot easier. So that's where it's the edge. I can do a lot of the call recording. It's a lot easier for my business. So I'll tell people to use Batch. The cool part about it, why, like, and the cherry on top is like, you can just try it out for free and see if you like it or not. So do you recommend Mojo, whatever? Try ZachDyler.com. If you don't like it, then just don't use it. Like I don't have a dog in the fight. Like use whatever one you want, use whatever one that works. But from people that don't like ZachDyler.com, most of them prefer Call Tools or Mojo. I would tell most people use Mojo because you don't really need 10-line dialer. I would say use Mojo. Try ZachDyler.com. If you don't like it, use Mojo Dialer. That'd be my recommendation. The reason why I never like ZenCall, they changed their name. I never really like Call Tools. People love Call Tools. Hey, I don't think I've seen too many people do well with Call Tools to like say anything bad about it. So it's still a good one. But what I could tell you is with Mojo, I used Mojo when I was starting out, like when I was virtual wholesaling. I did really well with it. So I still have to give Mojo its props. It's more of a realtor service, if that makes sense. But I've done well with it, so I cannot say it's going to be bad. So don't use Mojo skip tracing. I've seen, but that's what I've seen. Like that's what I'd tell you. Primal says, "What are you going to do when the market when, bro? Come on, man, come on. The market ain't going to crash tomorrow. Might be the stock market. Real estate crash is very slow. That's honestly what I've seen. So when the market's going to crash, it ain't going to crash. Now, it could crash in like 3 or 4 months. It ain't going to crash in a day. I mean, you could have like when the market crash, when they had that big market crash in 1929, the percentage of it's not likely. It might go down 10%, then going to be crashed. Then it might go 4% a month for a certain amount of months. But I don't predict a crash, quote unquote. You might get in a bear market where it goes down 40, 50%. That is on the table, obviously. But there's a lot of inflation out there right now. We're living in weird times. And you got to remember, a crash is like, if inflation's 10%, which I'm not saying what the numbers are going to be tomorrow. I don't know what they are. But let's say inflation's 10% for an example, which is a high number. And the stock market's up 5%. Realistically, you lost 5%. So it's like a different type of crash, if that makes sense. So if the stock market goes down, if inflation's 10%, the stock market goes down 30%, that's like 40% losses. So that's one thing about crashes that like with inflationary times right now that like not a lot of people know. It's weird. Like we're living in really weird times, but like if you look at the research from the past, it eerily gets familiar. I mean, the best predictor of the future is the past, right? Like history repeats itself. Not in the same way each time, right? Like we're not going to have a 2008 situation. It could be a 1910 situation. It could be a 1929 situation. It could be like in the 80s. Like we could have an Iran-Contra situation. Remember when gas went like crazy? Like so, it's like look in the past, and then anything before the 1800s. I kind of like we didn't really have central banks and stuff. So like. I say that because I'm not going to be this financial person. Like I'm a wholesaler first and foremost. But when you look at a market, you got to understand that I'm a real estate investor first and foremost with all my things. So I always look at it. So we'll see it. Mike says, LOL at Mark crash. It could crash. I'm telling you right. It could. Is it going to? I don't think it will. But honestly, I have been wrong before in this market. You know, we thought the market was going to crash when the panoramic hit and it didn't. So could be wrong. Could be right. You never know. We're in strange times, you know, like we're in very strange times right now. Primal Eskimo says, be honest, focus on finding a cash buyer first or a good, I would say focus on a good wholesale deal first. I think a lot of people get this wrong starting out. You should really be focusing on finding the right wholesale deal versus the cash buyer. Because if I have a good cash buyer, I can't use that cash buyer's leverage to go get a wholesale deal. But if I get a really good wholesale real estate deal, I can use that with a cash buyer to go find cash buyers, right? So that's a really good one. I see a lot of people do like those white bandit signs of like, 3-2 for sale, cash only. You can't do that with a good cash buyer, right? Like I got a cash buyer, go, let me buy your house. You say it whenever you want, right? Just keep that in mind. Ikrima says, any suggestions for within Canada? As per wholesaling goes, you guys get a lot of tools to find distressed. Any suggestions? So Canada's weird, right? Love our neighbors up north, but there's a lot of privacy laws in Canada, which like we can't get data as readily. They can't get data as readily as we can in our like. If you live in like Ontario, Windsor area, like it's a lot harder getting data. There ain't no like listrei.com PropStream there to save the day, right? The benefit of that is it's a lot harder for you to get in charge of a wholesale, which means there's less saturation. So what does that mean? You're kind of more or less like a lawyer, if that makes sense. So like, look at how lawyers market, right? They market in a way where it's like they could send mail, right? Like that works. But like, where do the big lawyers, how do they market, right? And if they don't have data or like they don't go after people, like, they don't go to the vacant list and then like the lawyers can't, like, that's not good. It's like, what do? They kind of do like what typical companies do, right? You see billboards. They might sponsor like a sports team or something. They might sponsor the side of a bus, like a lot of interesting stuff, right? So that might be word of mouth, right? Websites, SEO, stuff like that, pay-per-click. I see a lot of marketing with lawyers, like Instagram ads, Facebook ads, stuff like that. So that's probably going to be your best bet. You're going to have to pay for it. One thing I could tell you is if you could do reverse drawing for dollars, look it up at freewholesaling.com. That's probably going to be your best bet in Canada. Lou, what is up, Lou? How do you avoid buyers wanting a direct agreement with the seller in order not to pay double transfer taxes? Title company should figure that out pretty good. Like the title company should handle the taxes pretty well. Steve says Joe Brand wrecked the drive for dollars costs. Drill, baby, drill. Oh my gosh. Steve's driving me crazy. We ain't getting political on here. Like me alone, Zach Ginn, I cannot affect oil prices myself, right? So it's out of my control. So what I could tell you is, I can't control it. So it's like bike for dollars, run for dollars. Like do whatever one you want. Find buyers during the day. Awesome. Do you think driving is still effective with these gas prices? I would tell you, I think they still are. But I mean, direct mail price can be high. Go bike for dollars, ride for dollars, do virtual driving for dollars if you want, right? I still think it's the best one. It's still hands down. Primal, from what I know, a lot of pre-foreclosures have higher amounts than the offer price. Depends on the pre-foreclosure and how much equity is in there. When it's good offer subject to, when the equity is low, yeah. All right, let's see here. Get a question from Trusty Brando. What is up, Trusty Brando? Let's see here. Boom. All right. How are you, bud? I have a question on the dispo side. Can I get a realtor to post a deal and market to maximize my assignment fee? Thanks, my guy. See, so it depends on your state, obviously, here. What I could tell you is I'm probably not the biggest fan of it. I'm not going to tell you what you can or can't do. You technically get in brokering. Like if you really look at it hard, it's like technically you get into the brokering side if you're doing that. So probably not the biggest fan of that. If you don't own it, I would not list it on the market. Like that's honest my opinion. What do you think of the Memphis market? Memphis is an interesting market. ARVs are lower there. There's a lot of hedge funds in there. I know a lot of turnkey people there. It's a good wholesaling market. If you're local, I think obviously local is going to be better than virtual. So over 120K, we don't use 83. No. Under 120K, use 70. So under $120,000, you don't do the 83%. Kelly says, if the code enforcement department tells you that you aren't obligated to give you the code violation list because they don't have to have it done, what should I do? Do a FOIA Act, Freedom of Information Act. Heard a lot about you, Zach. Going to check going to check out your channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. What do you put on your hair to make it grow so quick? It's a lot of chicken and rice, I would say. I don't know. Uh, Willpower. Tyler says, I'm trying to find the price point on Zillow if for my market the way you put it on Zillow. Wait, I'm trying to price point. I do know it's well over 120 KO. Tyler, just hit me, just DM me or something. Don't give away your market to everyone, but I'll check it. And let me see here. I'll check. Let me go check it. I'll just look it up for you real quick. Just DM me on it and I'll check it out. Yeah, just hit me up for it. I'll go check it out. But it should be over 100. Most people are over 120K. Mr. Fitzgerald says, how do you figure out holding closing costs? Closing costs going to be, 1 to 2% of the deal. Holding costs not going to be your problem, Hey, Zach, what's up? What do I tell a lawyer when I want to make a contract for New York to wholesale? You basically, contact a lawyer just contact a real estate attorney that is okay with assignments. Can you DM me? Can you DM you our question? You can. I get a lot of DMs, so I try to get to as many as I can. So yeah. Let's see here. Thanks. We love homes in New Jersey. Says love this. Thank you. Jamel says fairly new to wholesaling. When reaching out to agents, what do you do if your MAO is higher than the price the agent is listed? This happens all the time. On market, you're going to be razor thin. You're making 5, 10K. I've seen now. There's people on market that have made 50, 60,000. I made 50,000 on a FSBO deal before, right? So it's like it depends. But what I can tell you with the MAO is on market, it's got to be a lot higher. And unless you got a buyer, I would not be doing it. I like off market better. You get better deals, hands down. Every single time, you're going to get just a way better list every single time. Chris says, found out a pre-foreclosure. They paid 150K in 2007, 80K left on mortgage. The comps are 325. So found out they paid 150. There's 80 on the mortgage. So, okay. So it looks like they have comps are 325, trying to get a hold of the owner. What would the offer be? I don't know the repair costs, so I couldn't help you with that. It kind of goes back to our offer on there, the formula. How can I buy house other people's money? You could do private money. So we'd like we're doing wholesaling real estate here, Zach. So we assignment. So we just sell the contract on that deal. So we don't need other people's money. We're not buying it. We're just selling our equal interest in the deal. If you do wholesaling, how do you know how to get the repair value if you don't see it? Oh, virtual wholesaling. So use that handy dandy estimator tool I gave you there, that little sheet. Ask the seller, usually for virtual wholesaling, I got to get pictures of the house to get that. Almost 100 wholesalers in here. What market are we in? Yeah, what market are you guys in? Let me know. Batch Lead's really good for, I think Batch is really good for comping. I think it's a great tool for comping. Let's see here. All right. Let's load this up. Where are we at here? Getting a lot of comments. What's up, guys? Guys, network in the comments. I'm telling you, it's gonna be really well. Anne Fernie says, "What's the offer formula again? It's ARV minus repairs multiplied by 83%. So ARV minus repairs multiplied by 83%. And what I can tell you guys right now is a lot of people get that confused. A lot of people. But what I can tell you right now is if you keep the offer formula going, if you really focus hard on actually going out here and giving a decent offer out there, you're going to do well. So 80, ARV minus repairs multiplied by 83% is what I've seen is the best results. And that's the one I think you should be doing. This business is literally all about going out there and getting properties under contract for the lowest price you possibly can, finding a cash buyer for the highest amount you can, making a difference between that. Boom, that's your assignment fee, right? Guys, that is how you actually find the offer formulas and going out here, getting the right offer and getting the right deals. Guys, do me a favor and smash the like button and subscribe. I really appreciate it, guys. And see you guys soon. So smash that like button, subscribe. Letting you know right now, too, if you want to hop on tomorrow, should be me and Rick, but I'll let you know. Might be only Rick. We'll see. And then I'll just be on Friday. I might go fishing tomorrow. We'll see. So, guys, I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Comment something in the comments. I answer every single comment personally. So hit me up. Love to help you guys out. Give offers right there and get it going. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have a